Okay, let's see how that is. Let's see if that's not, that might be too far away. Let's add a filter to it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's too noisy. I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's see how it does over this. Okay, let's see how that is. Let's see if that's not, that might be too far away. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's too noisy. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, it sounds okay. It sounds like I got the air conditioning on, which I do. Let's see if that's not. So let's knock out some of the background noise there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's too noisy. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, it sounds okay. It sounds like I got the air conditioning on, which I do. So let's knock out some of the background. Alright, we don't have to hear me. Again, this is all a test. If you've joined me today, thank you. But this is all just a test. I'm going to add a filter to this. That may be a little loud. There we go. We might have Alright, let's see how that's going to do. So yeah, you're getting the right there. I think I got a little delay on this audio though. Yeah, there's some delay on the audio. I'll have to figure that out, I think.
Team deathmatch. We've lost the lead.
Yeah, that's insane. That's too much. That's too much lag. I can't deal with that. So I'm sitting in here. Yeah, why is there such a delay? Yeah, this ain't very good at all. Okay, we have to do something about this. I don't know what I can do though. I don't know what I can do. That ain't it. Wow. Does anybody Anybody know why that's such a delay? I don't expect you guys to know or even be watching me. Anybody know why that's such a delay? We might have to look that up on YouTube. Why is there such a delay on my... Why is there such a delay? Why is there such a delay? Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I haven't heard anybody having this. It's kind of weird. YouTube and figure something out. Audio delay. Son of a bitch.
So I had gotten a new Elgato HD60X USB capture card, and I was having issues where it worked fine, audio was fine, but just gradually, as I would play a game throughout the stream or whatever, audio would get more and more out of sync. Now, I could toggle the source on and off, or do what other people recommended with disabling buffering and stuff, and it would fix it for an amount of time, but it would always come back. And I finally found the solution that I just wanted to share. Now, this is the HD60X that I have, but this will pertain to several other capture cards having those same issues, whether it's an HD60S or HD60, or maybe not even an Elgato card, maybe something else. So the first thing we're going to do, whenever you add your card to OBS, what you probably did, you just added it as a video object and audio worked and was ready to go. The problem is with the buffering issues you're going to have here. So here's our settings. Side note, I've always had better luck with adding custom resolution 1080p hard settings 60. Whenever I take the device default or any of that stuff, I sometimes had other issues. So we don't want to use this for audio. Let's look at our mixer. The first thing we want to do is we want to disable to where this isn't capturing audio anymore. So I had this audio object for it. If you see this in here, you can go to your advanced audio properties. And what I did for that was I just unchecked the channels for that video object and go ahead and set monitor off as well. That'll be different depending on how you do your audio, but just make sure you just turn all of that off so that you're not hearing that and you don't have overlap. After you're done with that and you're not going to need this anymore, you can hide it. That way you're not seeing it in there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a capture. I already have this, so I'm not going to go through that. But the properties of this, what you're going to add is your game capture HD60X or whatever your device is. You'll find it in here and you'll add it that way. After you do that, it will show up in the mixer over here. So from the mixer, we're going to go ahead and hit that little menu button, advanced audio properties, and just make sure that it's capturing that. I capture all of my desktop audio. So things that I want to be heard on the desktop, I do monitor only, and that gets it going and it doesn't double the audio. Now, if you don't capture all your desktop and you do each thing individually, you'll do monitor and output. But for my case, I'm doing monitor only because I just captured my whole desktop. After I did that, so now you've got this object. You will have to remember that each scene you're using that has this HD60X, for example, video object, you're also going to make sure you add that audio object that you created as well. After I did that, that took care of all the buffering issues and things were good to go. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Thanks.
Nope, that wasn't helpful at all. That wasn't helpful at all. Let's try the buffering stuff.
So I had gotten a new Elgato HD60X USB capture card, and I was having issues with capture card, and I was having issues where
It's still.
So I had gotten a new Elgato HD60X USB capture card, and I was having issues where it worked fine, audio was fine, but just gradually as I would play a game throughout the stream or whatever, audio would get more and more out of sync. Now I could toggle the source on and off or do what other people recommended would.
Hello, my YouTube friends. Today I want to talk to you about audio sync issues you might run into on your live streams and how you can fix them. So let's get to it. My analytics say that 80% of the folks watching my content are not subscribed. Am I doing something wrong? Well, if so, let me know in the comments. But if you are looking for tools, tips, and tricks that can help make you a better YouTuber or live streamer, subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you don't miss any new content. It's totally free. A few things can cause out of sync audio issues. First, we need to see if your equipment power is causing the issue. Let me show you how we can check that out. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to go up into the top left and we're going to click on View. Then we're going to add a dock and we're going to select Stats. And this puts the stats dock in here. Now you can see I'm already live down here, got the green bar. And if I flip over into YouTube, you can see we are live. But YouTube does not give us any actual stats as to how our stream is doing. It says excellent condition. We don't really know anything other than it's live and it says excellent condition. The audio could be horrible, we don't really know. So back over here in OBS, this stats dock is going to tell us how it is. Now I can move this stats dock anywhere. When you open it up, it might appear right here and then you have to drag it over to the edge and drop it in. You'll notice I also have my scenes docked over here. These work just the same way. You can move them around, dock them anywhere you want. I have a lot of scenes, so I put it right there. So over here in the stats window, you can see that it tells us whether it's dropping any frames from lag or from rendering. You can also get down to the bottom and see whether it's actually buffering. If we're not dropping any frames down there, that means your machine is not buffering. But we're mostly concerned with what we're getting up here in the stats. Are we dropping any frames due to render lag or encoding lag? And if the answer to that is no, then it's a safe bet that you are not having a hardware problem. Your sync issues are software. But you definitely want to go and switch through each scene to make sure that you're not dropping any frames or getting any render lag. You want to make sure that your transitions happen and all that kind of stuff, just to be sure that you are actually not having any machine problem, that's not the cause of your problem. So if it is your machine's power causing the problem, there are a couple of things that we can do. So we know we have a hardware problem because we're lagging and dropping frames. So if we take a look at this chart, we can see now if we're trying to live stream at 1080 by 30 frames per second, well, our bits per second or kilobits per second could be anywhere between 3,000 and 6,000. So depending upon where you have that set, we actually have some room to adjust that. Likewise, if you're at 1080 streaming at 60 frames per second, it's between 4,500 and 9,000. So we have some room to adjust that. So we can just adjust our kilobits per second down a little bit. And yes, this will slightly lower the video quality of our stream. But if we're not taxing our machine and dropping frames and lagging, then our audio will probably be more in sync or have an easier time syncing up, because that's really what's causing our problem. So let's jump over into OBS and we're going to click on settings and we're going to go to output, and right here is our kilobits per second, and we're going to use our little chart here and we're going to adjust this down to the lower end of where we're at. So now that we've adjusted our bit rate lower, what else can we do? And the first thing that controls your laggy stream is the encoder. So you want to drop this down and make sure that if you have a specialized encoder on a graphics card or something like an NVIDIA card, that you have that selected. That is actually a completely separate chip that's just designed to encode live streams and things like that. So if you have one, you definitely want to select it. If you don't have one, X264 is perfectly fine. Let's walk through X264 because I think generally speaking, people who are going to run into lag are folks that don't have graphics cards. So let me walk you through how encoding works once you set this up. Now right down here you have your CPU usage, and higher equals less CPU. So if I have this set to ultra fast, I am using much less computer power and it's just producing it as fast as it possibly can. So if you're running into lag issues, start with the lowest setting and go ahead and try it, test it and see if it works. And if it does work, then you can step up to a little faster setting to see if that works. You want to set it to as high as you can without creating any lag. But honestly, I'm not sure you need to go much past medium. If you've got it set to medium and it's not lagging, you're in good shape. Leave it right there, because the quality really doesn't get a whole heck of a lot better once you push past medium. The other thing that you can do, or you may need to do, is if you're really lagging, it does mean that your equipment is not strong enough. You can go into video and downsize to 720. And believe me, I know a lot of people, they want to live stream at the highest rate that they possibly can, and I understand that. But most people are watching live streams on their cell phone at like 340. So if you have to downsize to 720, you're gonna be okay. I'm serious, you're gonna be fine. If you downsize here, make sure you downsize both, because encoding 2 streams or encoding it in one way and then resizing it is more work. And then you can go back into your output and adjust your bit rate to that new encoding setting based on the chart, and then go ahead and adjust your CPU preset here as well, and just test. Now, I will recommend when you go and you switch the outside canvas resolution of your stream, what you're going to see happen is you're going to go into your scenes. So instead of it being like this, it's obviously, since this is 1080, it's going to be huge. It's going to, you're going to have it look like this. So what you're going to want to do, I know that this isn't a lot of fun, but what you're going to absolutely need to do is you're going to need to put these video assets and all of your assets into some form of editing software and scale them down to 720. Because if you're using 1080 assets in a 720 window with a 720 stream, then it's still re-encoding those. You're trying to take all of that stress off of your computer, and the easiest way to do that is to resize your assets. Now, I know you're thinking, Mike, you're talking render lag and encoding lag. What does that have to do with my audio? Well, if you're having problems with render lag and encoding lag, that's what's causing your audio to be out of sync. So you definitely want to be sure that you make the proper adjustments to solve these problems, and then test. Now, if your machine's power is not causing the problem, or you just fixed that and now you're still having the issue, then it's probably the fact that your camera and your microphone are both coming in through USB, but they're separate USB ports. USB buses have bandwidth limits, which is the root of this particular problem. But most computers have more than one USB bus. So the first thing to try is to move your camera or your microphone to a separate USB bus. So maybe from the back into the front, so have one in the front and one in the back, or however your USBs are set up. If that doesn't fix it, the next step is to manually sync it. All right, so you've got your hardware stuff squared away, or you've got the USB thing and you switched buses and you're still getting some lag or delay. Well, let me show you what you can do. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go into our mixer right here. We're gonna right click on the mixer and we're gonna go to advanced audio properties. Now right in here you have a sync offset you can adjust, and chances are the delay is going to adjust a lot faster. In other words, delaying the audio, the way that it comes in, is going to go a lot.
I got a lot to work on. That was my test stream. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. Now I can go back and look at this live and take some cues out of it. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I haven't quit yet. Just everything looks good on the screen though. I mean, I like the way my screen looks. I just don't like that lag in the audio. It's killing me. The lag in the audio is killing me. All right. Thanks a lot for coming by. Tomorrow, hopefully with a better stream.